Hi guys, so in this video we will talk about the strings. So basically strings are a group of characters. So let's say if we have a word, that's a string because word contains multiple characters. So for example, if we have apple, so that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 characters. So we want to store all the characters together as one word. We use string. So for string, it's different from the 8 primitive data types. Although it's a data type, but we notice that when we declare our string, the first letter is capitalized. So that's because string is actually a class. So that's similar to a wrapper class as the primitive data types. So string is a type of class. So let's have an example. The string, when we declare the string, that's what we write for the type, space, my string equal to. And for string, since we're grouping multiple characters, we use double quotation mark. And this is a string, semicolon. So this sentence is actually one string, including the space. So space is also counted as one character. So we can print this out. System.out.println my string, and we will get this is a string. So this is also a variable, and that's stored in this variable. Another example would be system.out.println. This is also a string. So actually what we stored in this quotation marks is a string. And when we print this out, it works exactly the same as this. So as we mentioned previously, if we want to print something, we use double quotation marks. That's because we're actually using a string. And now let's go over some important methods associated with the string. So that could be helpful. The first one is empty. So this is used to check if the string is empty. And this method returns a boolean. So if we want to check whether a string is empty or not, we can do the following. We can assign some variable as a boolean, and let's have check equal to my string, and then we have the dot is empty with the parentheses and also with a semicolon. And now we can check the check, and we run the program. We see it returns a false because our string is not empty. Let's do another example. If we have string my string 2 equal to quotation marks, and we have nothing between the two quotation marks, not even a space, that means this string is an empty string. It doesn't have anything. And now we can use boolean check 2 equal to my string 2 dot is empty parentheses. And now we can check the check 2, and we will get a true because this is empty. Another method we can use is the length. So it will tell you how long or how many characters your string has. So let's check. The length returns an integer. So we can have the int and length equal to my string the length. Also remember to have the parentheses. With the parentheses, that means we're calling a method, not a variable. And next, we can print the length. And before we do that, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The space is also one character. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It has 16 characters. So let's check whether this is true or not. Oh, 16. So we got the correct answer. Okay, let's do another example. If we have string my string 3 equal to something like a, b, space, space, space. So what's the length of this one? We can check. Int length 2 equal to my string 3 dot length. So it's either 2 or 5. Let's see. So we can print the length 2 and let's run it. We get a 5. So that's because even though the spaces are together, they count as one character for each. So next method is called char at with parentheses. And between the two parentheses, there should be a number, let's say integer. So what does this mean? This means, for example, if we have A, B, C, D, that's a string, and we can locate each character. So how do we do this? We know A, B, C, D has a length of 4, and for each character, it has a unique index number. So for the first character, it has the index number of 0. And for the second character, it has an index number of 1. And C is 2, D is 3. So we can use the integer represent the index number, and char at will locate each character. For example, we have char my char equal to my string dot char at, let's say 0, and we expect to have a capitalized T because that's the first index, and we can print it out to see my char, and let's check. Yes, we get a T. So if we have char at 1, it will return the H, and we can check again. H. The next method is called two lowercases. So it will convert your string to the lowercase. So if we have the string my string 4 equal to hello, how are you? So notice each word is capitalized, and we can use my string 4 dot to lowercase, and we assume we will change the string to lowercase. So let's check my string 4. Notice that it didn't change at all. The reason is this method will not change the original string. Instead, it will return a new string. So we have to assign the string my string 5 equal to this one, and your string 5 will be a modified string of string 4. And now let's check again. And here, all the words has all the lower cases. So the next method has the same property. The next one is called Concat. So this one also returns the new string. So if we have string my string 6 is equal to my string 4, dot concat, and with between the parentheses we can have some quotation mark and some words we want to add. So let's say with more characters. And now the concat will return your string 4 plus the new characters added. So now we have my string 6, and we will get hello, how are you, with more characters. We can also combine two strings with this method. So we can have string my string 7 equal to my string 4 with a plus sign and quotation marks with more characters. So it will return the same thing. So my string 7, and yes, it has the same thing. Before we continue to the next method, there are actually some shortcuts we can do for the white spaces. So let's say we have string my string 8 equal to A, B, C, D, and we want to have some really long space right here. We can either manually type the space, or we could type \T. That means tab. And for here, if we print out my string 8, we will get a big space right here. That's what this one means. And if we replace the T with the N, that means a new line. So that means end this line and start a new line. So the next method is called replace. So that means we can replace some characters by some new characters within a string. So we can have string new string is equal to my string dot replace, and we can have single quotation mark. So here we type the character, the old character we want to replace. So we can type space, and we have a comma and another single quotation mark. So here we enter the new character we want to replace with. So let's say this, and when we print out our new string, we will have all the space replaced. So let's do an exercise. Now we have our string 4. So what do we do if we want to get rid of all the spaces? So we want to make our string 4 become hello, how are you, without any space. So you can try it on your own, but probably you will have some difficulties with this one. So here I just directly go to my solution. We can have string my new string equal to my string 4 dot replace the old character, which is the space, and the new character, since we don't want to replace anything, so we just leave it empty, and semicolon. But here we see there's a right underline, saying this is wrong. The reason is, by definition, character, the char, can have exactly one single character. So it cannot have more than one character. It also cannot have less than one character. So empty character will return an error. So what do we do here? So replace actually not only can ask you to change the old character, but it can also ask you to change multiple characters, which means we could use double quotation mark to represent a string. And for the new one, we can also use string symbol, double quotation mark, with the empty string. And in this way, it will replace all the open spaces to empty string. And now we can print my new string. And let's check. Okay, so this one works. However, if we have \t in our string 4, and when we run it again, it is still there. So we have to do something else to get rid of all the white spaces. So the way to do that is to replace the space by the \s. So this means to replace all the white spaces, including \t, to the empty string. And also, since we're using this symbol, we have to use replace all. And we can check it. It works again. So the last method we will talk about is the compare to method. So this one will allow you to compare two strings and it returns an integer. So we can have string 1 equal to hello, and string 2 equal to hi. And in order to compare the two strings, we can have string 1 dot compare to and string 2. So here we could either use the variable name or we could use hi. Either one works. So now we just use the variable name, which is string 2. And this one will return an integer. So we have to assign int volume equal to compare to. So we will get a positive number if the string 1 is greater than the string 2. If we get it 0, that means the two strings are equal. And if we get a negative number, that means string 1 is less than string 2. So how do we compare them? We compare them character by character. So the first character, it has H. So both of them are the same. And for second character, it has a E and this has an I. So E goes before I. So the E is less than I. So the volume we assume here will be a negative number. So we can check volume and we will get -4. So the 4 actually doesn't matter. As long as it's a negative number, that means this first one is smaller than the second one. So if we change it to hello, we will get a 0. That means they're equal. So don't worry if you can't memorize all the methods. You can always check Oracle documents to see what are the methods that are available for each class. And we can scroll down and the method summary. So we have char at, which returns a char, and compare to, which returns an int. So there are more methods that we didn't go over with. So if you're interested, you can always take a look on the Oracle document and see what are the methods available and their return type. And since we learned all 8 primitive data types and the strings, next we will do some basic calculation. So we will learn some operators and we will learn the cast. So that means what happens if we have a string plus a number, or we have a double plus an integer. That's all about the casting. And see you in the next video.